Recently, an insurance agency called me for help because they just lost their largest account that they've had for the past 24 years. When I asked how that happened, the clear, confident response was price. We lost it totally on price. The only piece of good news from that conversation is that my gag reflex is still working perfectly. Look, first, you have to understand that people don't change just for the sake of changing, especially if they've been with you for a significant amount of time. The only way a long-term customer will change is if they see significant pain to staying with you, coupled with significant benefit to moving. You blew it somewhere. Somewhere you dropped the ball related to the relationship, value, or both. So if you find yourself in a situation like this, there's one possible solution here. It's to get into that account as quickly as possible and do anything to save it. In the process, obviously find out why you really lost it and start to correct the problem in the accounts that you still have left. Second, understand if someone's price is significantly better than yours, there's a reason you'd better make clear to the customer because they're in danger. There's simply no way someone can deliver a superior product, superior service, at a much lower price. If someone's 33% cheaper, and by the way, use the word cheaper when referring to the competition. If they're 33% cheaper than you, as was the case with the insurance agency, you're selling apples and they're selling oranges, bottom line. There are holes in that policy that can hurt your customer. In this case, you need to get in there and scare the bejesus out of them. You have to raise doubt that they were getting what they expected. For example, with an insurance policy, you have to show them where the holes were in that policy or where the possible holes might be in that policy, where they might be exposed. By the way, the above solution assumes you still have a strong enough relationship and they still like and trust you. If they trust you, in other words, they still believe you, and they like you, in other words, you didn't do something to tick them off or lose the relationship previously, you can raise the shadow of a doubt, and that is your objective here. Third, you didn't lose this customer overnight. It's probably been a series of years, whether you took them for granted by, maybe this agency was just mailing them the renewal every year. They weren't staying in touch with them. They weren't doing anything to build the relationship or stay in touch. Again, there was something other than price. As a result, you need to make some changes, and most likely some significant ones, on how you deliver value and build long-term relationships. All of that said, let's look at how we can handle the price issue moving forward. First, accept that only about 7% of people buy primarily on price. Until you accept this fact, you'll never be able to overcome the price problem. And no, your market isn't different. The people you're dealing with aren't different. This is another excuse I hear weekly. And each and every time I hear the excuse, in every case, I've encountered the top performing companies and salespeople in that industry are always selling more expensive products to people who supposedly buy on price. And how many things do you buy solely on price and the fact that they're the lowest price? Do you live in the cheapest house, drive the cheapest car, wear the cheapest clothes, eat the cheapest food? Only if you can afford absolutely nothing else. Do you buy your fiancé the cheapest diamond? Do you invest in the cheapest cancer treatment for your loved one? Now look, I know these are extreme examples, right? But they highlight the point that if you're like most people, the lowest price scares you. Deep down, you know you get what you pay for. If you truly believe people buy on price, you don't have a price problem. You have a mindset and a sales problem. Price is simply an easy throwaway excuse to justifying hanging out in your comfort zone and being mediocre while simultaneously avoiding the hard work and the pain necessary for salvation. There's pain in letting go of an old belief, the amount of work it takes to build sales skills, adjust mindset, and admit you're wrong. That work's immense. And the reality is most people won't do it. They'll simply hide behind the price excuse and whine that their situation's different. It isn't. And the faster you accept that reality, the faster you'll begin to turn things around. Second, realize that selling on price is the surest way to go out of business. There can only be one low price provider. If you are it today, you won't be it tomorrow or when your customer's shopping the next time. There will always be someone willing to sell it cheaper and in some cases even give it away. Low price cheapens the marketplace. It destroys loyalty, trust, credibility in relationships. Competing on price will ensure both you and your business live a shorter, more painful life. The key is to get great at building relationships and building value. This is going to take some work, but it will be worth it. Look, is price important? Yes. Is it the most important? In 93% of the cases, no. It's funny that anytime the subject of relationships comes up and I ask how important they are in the overall sales and business process, I usually get the answer that relationship is the most important part. Later, when I ask the same person why they didn't get the business, they say price. And at the end of the day, whatever you believe to be true will be true. Well, I can show you over and over again, study after study, that show that only 7% of people buy primarily on price. You won't believe what you see, you'll see what you believe. As we all know, the first sale is to yourself. If you don't believe in your product and the price you're asking for it, you either need to find that belief or leave your company, go work for the low-cost provider, or quit the business altogether. Either way, if you're going to survive long-term, feel good about yourself, and ultimately thrive in the marketplace, you have to let go of the price excuse and learn to sell value in relationships. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next video.